Hey guys, it's Han. Welcome back. So today's video is going to be a date night get ready with me. I'm looking a little bit rough at the minute, but that is all going to be fixed by the end. Personally, I don't have many dates on the cards, don't know about anyone else, so don't feel like you just have to wear this for a date night. You could also wear it for like drinks out with your friends, shopping, going out with your family, like whatever you want to wear it for. But I basically wanted to show you guys everything that I do when I do go out with my friends or do go out for a date. So everything from picking out an outfit to picking out my fragrance, doing my hair, bronzing my body, literally every single step, just to give you guys an idea of how I actually genuinely get ready, I guess. So I'm going to do my hair first. If I'm going to be doing anything like, not crazy, because let's be honest, I never do anything crazy with my hair, but if I'm going to be doing anything that takes a little bit of effort, I tend to do my hair first, just because if I do my makeup first, then I get quite lazy and I will not do my hair after. I don't know about anyone else, but if I've done my makeup first, I just cannot be bothered with my hair. So I'm gonna curl my hair today. I'm just gonna start by partitioning my hair. So I always split it into two sections. I look so tired today. Okay, and I have already put heat protectant on my hair. Obviously, you want to do that if you're going to be using any type of heat. I put that on a couple of minutes ago just so it kind of like dried into my hair already. So the curling one that I'm going to be using today is a curling wand by Numi. I'm not entirely sure what size barrel this is, but I will leave the make and stuff down below in case you're interested. And the way I'm going to be curling my hair today is I'm basically going to be curling every single section away from my face, so I'm not going to alternate the curls at all. I'm just going to curl everything away, and sometimes I would pin curl my hair if I wanted it to last really long or if I wanted really tight curls, but today I kind of want more of like a beachy sort of like undone type of vibe, so I'm not going to be pin curling them. I'm literally just going to be curling them, letting them drop, holding them in my hand whilst they cool down, because that does tend to help with the longevity of your curls. And then I'm just going to be putting them to the back of my head and continuing. And to be honest, when I do my curls like this, it probably only takes about 20 minutes, so it's still pretty quick. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do now is just spray it with a little bit of hairspray just to set them in place a bit more. It's very curly at the minute, but they do drop out quite quickly in my hair. So, and then I do also like to put a little bit of dry shampoo just like by the root, just to make it a little bit more voluminous. So this one is by Collab, I think you pronounce it. It's actually in collaboration with Misguided. It smells really lovely and the packaging is so cute. So I'm just gonna spray a little bit this by the root. And then last but not least, my secret weapon at the minute, because if you can't already tell, my roots are a hot mess. So this is the L'Oreal Paris Dark Brown Magic Root Retouch. I love this stuff. It's a little bit tricky to get the hand of sometimes because the actual nozzle is so skinny and it comes out quite quickly. But I'm growing my colour out a little bit at the minute because I'm tempted to go back to my natural colour for summer. So I've not been having my roots done. And as you can see, they've come down to about here now. I mean, I probably should just get it like bleached and dyed, but I'm just trying to leave it as long as possible. And you can't really tell once you've sprayed this. So, and then I'm just going to clip all of that back whilst we do makeup, because I don't know about anyone else, but I actually hate having my hair in my face when I'm doing my makeup. The next thing I like to do if I'm going on a date night or just going out with my friends is pick an outfit, and I try and do this before I do my makeup, because if I'm going to be wearing anything with like a high neck, for example, I try and maybe like put that on before I do my makeup, just so that I don't have to put it on over my face, just so I know what I'm wearing and I know like how much of my body I need to bronze, if I'm going to be bronzing my body, like all of that kind of stuff. So today I picked out a pair of faux leather trousers from Rebellious. These were actually in my Instagram clothing haul, and honestly they're probably my favorite piece that I bought. I'm obsessed with them, so comfy. I love the paper bag waist. And then I picked out this bodysuit from Misguided. So this is just a kind of like a satin plunge bodysuit, and it is pretty low, but the thing that I love about this is, first of all, it fits like a glove. Like, it is so flattering on. It's actually got some wiring underneath the boob area, and it's got adjustable straps, and then it does have lining going down as well, so it actually looks very flattering on the body. Even for me, who like, I've got the tiniest of boobs, I feel like it still looks really nice on, so I'm going to pair it with that. And then in terms of shoes, I've actually picked out a pair of Louboutins, however you want to pronounce it. These were actually the very first pair that I purchased, and I actually purchased them back in October when I was going to LA for the Anastasia party. Obviously they're all black, so I feel like they go really well with the outfit, and obviously with the red sole. I'm pretty sure I'm going to do a red lip today, so I feel like it's just going to tie in really nicely and just just add a little bit of a pop of colour. These are definitely my comfiest pair out of all of the ones that I own, just because they do have that little bit of support at the bottom. And they look really flattering on, so I'm gonna wear those as well. And then I think I'm just gonna pair it with my big like oversized fur coat from Missguided, which I'm obsessed with, like my brown one at the minute. I just love it. And then probably my little clear bag from Missguided as well, because again, I'm obsessed with that at the minute. I love it so much, so I'm pretty sure that is going to be my outfit. And then the very last thing I like to do before I get ready is pick out a fragrance. I don't know if anyone else does this, but I feel like sometimes choosing a fragrance kind of helps me to picture the full look when it's done, and it can also inspire me makeup wise as well, which I absolutely love. So this one is the Yes I Am by Cacharel perfume, and I'm obsessed. You guys will have seen this on my Instagram recently. I've been doing a couple of posts about it. Oh, it smells so good. I don't know what it is. It's quite sweet but still quite sensual at the same time, which is why I'm obsessed with it for things like date nights and also going out with my friends. For me, I just love wearing this in the evening. Like obviously you can wear it all day long if you want to, but I don't know what it is. It just makes me feel really confident, really like sexy. I'm just gonna actually like... The packaging is gorgeous as well, obviously, and like I said, I'm going to be wearing my little transparent bag today from Missguided, so I feel like when I pop this in, you'll obviously see like the pop of a red come through because it's in the shape of a little red lipstick, and I feel like it's going to tie everything together. But yeah, if you've not already smelt this, go into a store, try it on. I guarantee you'll absolutely fall in love. I also love the fact that it lasts so long on the skin as well, so even though I am going to take it out just so that you can actually see it in my bag, I don't have to really top this up throughout the night, which I love. So that is the fragrance that I'm going to be wearing tonight. Okay, so we've done our hair, we've picked out our outfit, we've picked out our fragrance, so the last thing that we're going to be doing today is obviously makeup. So I'm going to start off with my eyebrows. So the brow product that I'm going to be using today is the Benefit Precisely My Brow Pencil in the shade 4. Probably my favourite brow product of all time. I just think it's such a good staple, lasts really long on the brows, it's really easy to apply, it's quite quick for me to do now as well, which I absolutely love. So I'm just going to be kind of popping this through my brows and then fading it a little bit more towards the tail, towards the sort of start. I tend to do the tail a little bit more structured. As I've said in my previous videos, if my brows look uneven, it's because this one tends to raise a lot, so I'm sorry if they don't look matching. Just is what it is. I feel like I have to say it because people tend to come for me about my brows. So to prime my eyes today, I'm actually going to use P. Louise base, which I'm not going to do anything super heavy on the eyes because I am going to be doing a red lip, but I just want to make sure that the colours kind of stick to the base and last as long as possible. So this is in the shade 2, and I'm going to be applying it with a Makeup Forever 230 brush. In terms of palette, I'm going to be using this little mini palette from Dose of Colours. This is the Baked Browns. I want something kind of neutral today rather than super warm, just because we are going to be using a red lip. I don't know what to start with. I might do my crease colour first, so mix these two shades together on just like a fluffy brush. These are so pigmented as well. I have actually filmed this video already, but if you follow me on Twitter, you will know I lost all of the footage to it because who is an idiot? Me. And honestly, the first time around I filmed this, I was shook with these shadows because they are so pigmented, like honestly, and you need literally the tiniest amount. So I'm just going to start on the outer corner and then start working my way into the crease. And I'm just going to pat first of all because the base is quite sticky, so I don't like to swipe straight away because it can kind of like disturb it a little bit sometimes. So I'm just going to be patting this in just to get the colour payoff there, and then I'm going to go in and blend it afterwards. I'm going to do an all matte eye today as well, so I'm literally just going to be using this palette and then maybe a little bit of black as well, just to do a bit of like a smoked out liner. So I'm not going to be doing anything like shimmery on the lid, so I'm going to be taking these all the way in and then blending them a little bit onto the lid as well. And then once you've got that first initial layer of colour, you can go in with a little bit more product and start just building it up and softening it out. And then I'm going to be taking a tapered brush. This one is a Sigma one, and I'm going to start with the darker shade, I think, just on the outer corner. So again, you get a lot of pigment on the brush, so you just have to be quite careful with how much you're applying. But I'm just going to be first of all patting this. So again, you just want to press it where you want the product, and then we're going to start winging it out. So once you started pattern and you've got it where you want it, I'm going to kind of flip the brush on its side and just start winging it out. And I'm going to take it a little bit further down than the outer corner of my eye, just because when I do the lower lash line, I want everything to sort of link up. And then going back in with the product that, well, the brush that we first used, sorry, and I'm just going to start kind of meshing everything together a little bit more. And if you get a lot of product on your hand whilst you're doing it, just kind of like, on the brush, sorry, just dab it off on your hand and then go back in, because the last thing you want to do is take this darker shade too high. Okay, and then to create a smoky liner, you just want a black shadow. So I'm just going to be using one out of my Kylie Cosmetics palette, but any black will do. And what we're going to be doing is basically taking an angled brush, and we kind of just want to press this into the lashes. So I'm going to start at the very outer corner here and just start kind of stamping it there. That brown's gone a little bit patchy, but I feel like once this is blended, it should be fine. And then I'm going to be taking it all of the way in as well, which you don't have to do if you don't want to, but for me, it just helps to mesh the lashes that I'm going to use together as well. So once you've done that, it's time to do lashes and skin. So the lashes I'm going to be using, they're not lily lashes, although I've just been keeping them in this box. I'm going to be using the Pinky Go Ream lashes. I'm so obsessed with these. I love them so much. I've been wearing them ever since I filmed my drugstore haul, which was quite a while ago now, and honestly, they are going so strong. They're so easy to maintain and look after. So I'm just going to pop those on and then we're going to move on to the skin. Lashes are on. Hi. Before we do skin, I really want to bronze my body just because then I know how to match my face to my neck. So one product that I used when I first filmed this video was this right here. This is the Sol de Janeiro Copacabana Bronze Glow Oil. This is beautiful on the skin. I'm obsessed with this. I don't know why I've not tried it sooner. I'm going to be applying it with an iconic London brush. This is just one of their really big kind of like buffing brushes. So I'm just going to pop some on the top of the brush. And because I know what I'm wearing, I know how much of my body to bronze, if that makes sense. So I'm going to be doing quite far down. Obviously, you're not going to see because I don't want to be flashing any nipples on camera. But I'm just going to start buffing it into the skin. I honestly don't know why I've not used this sooner. Like, it's just been sat in my drawer for ages. It's good because it almost works as like an instant tan. Like, as you can see, it's got a little bit of colour payoff to it as well. So I feel like it also adds a little bit of a kind of like a glowy tan. But yeah, it makes so much difference, honestly. I'm obsessed. For moisturizer, I'm going to be using this one by Glam Glow. This is the Water Burst Moisturizer. It's kind of like my go-to at the minute. It's the one that I've been using the most. I don't know if you guys can tell, but my skin's actually cleared up a lot as well. So if anyone's watched my like spend the night with me video, all of the steps that I did in that skincare wise, I'll put it on the screen here if you're interested in watching it. But all of the steps that I did in that video skincare wise and the supplements that I've been using have honestly made like the biggest difference to my skin, because it's pretty much cleared up now. There's a couple of blemishes left on my forehead, but they're mostly just kind of ones that are fading. There's not really any new ones. Okay, onto primer. I'm going to be using one by Laura Mercier. This is just the hydrating primer. Again, you guys know I love this stuff. I've just been using it non-stop recently, this one and the L'Oreal primer that I also really like. But the foundation that I'm using today is quite matte, so I want something really hydrating. So this foundation I actually used for the first time when I first filmed this video. This is the Makeup Forever Matte Velvet Skin 24-hour full coverage foundation. I have the shade Y365. This was actually very kindly gifted, so it's not a complete match to my body and my face and stuff, but it will work by the end, I promise, once I've done concealer and powders and all of that good stuff. So don't be thrown off if it's not quite matching. So the brush I'm going to be using is the Luxie foundation brush, just because I feel like this shares it out a tiny bit more. And I literally just put kind of a couple of blobs on the brush and like apply it to the bristles, and then I'm just going to start buffing it into the skin. But yeah, you really don't need a lot of this at all. The actual texture is very thick. Like, that's how I can explain it. If you don't like thick foundations, then you're not gonna like this. To be honest, I'm not the biggest fan of thick foundations, but this one just seemed to work really well and really nicely on the skin. So I feel like it's just something to get used to if you're like me and you're used to kind of blending out more liquidy foundations, because this is literally not liquidy in the slightest. Like, it is so thick in consistency. And then cream contour wise, I'm going to be using my L'Oreal Infallible stick in the shade Toffee Caramel today. I tend to switch between this one and my Maybelline one, but if I want something more brown rather than more like orangey warm, then I'll use this one, just because it is a little bit more cool toned than my Maybelline one. So I'm just going to apply a little bit, because honestly you don't need a lot of this stuff, like it goes pretty far. And then I'm just gonna buff it in with a Real Techniques brush. This is just an expert face brush. It's like my favorite one for cream bronzer. Okay, onto concealer and powder. You guys know I'm obsessed with my GRWM concealer at the minute in the shade 3, so I'm just gonna be applying that under my eyes. It's gonna look a little bit light now because I've got a darker foundation on than usual. But when you set this concealer with powder, it does tend to kind of like dull down a little bit anyway. So I'm just going to apply some of this underneath the eyes. And I'm just going to take my sponge, beauty blender as always. I literally don't use any other sponge. I don't know what it is about this, but Beauty Blender have just nailed it, and I feel like nothing else compares. Don't know if it's just me, but I am just Beauty Blender lover. And then powder wise, as always, I'm going to be using my YSL powder in the shade 2 underneath my eyes, just to set the concealer in place. I feel like I don't even need to tell you guys that I'm using this anymore, because you all know how obsessed I am with it, but it is literally like a filter. So I'm just going to tap underneath to make sure there's no creasing, and then I just take a little bit on my sponge, and I'm just going to press this into the skin underneath my eyes. Don't really bake, but I just use it to smooth out my pores, smooth out any of those like cream products, and just to set everything down. For the rest of the skin, I'm going to use MAC Studio Fix in the shade NW25. This has got a little bit more of a pink tone, so again, it's going to help the face match a little bit better with the body and just take away any of that like more kind of yellowy tone to the skin. We are coverage today, okay? We are full coverage. I'm gonna use Hoola bronzer just to bronze the skin. Again, I don't want to use anything too warm, and we also still have a lot of the colour payoff coming through from the cream bronzer. So you don't really need anything super heavy for this. It's just to more set it in place and add a little bit of definition. Okay, to finish off the under eye, of course, we're just going to use the same shade. And I'm going to start with this shade here. You literally need like the tiniest bit. It is a joke. And then I'm going to start on the outer corner of the eye and kind of work that into the inner corner, just to have a little bit of a base there. And then we're going to build it up ever so slightly with one of the darker shades, again just on the very outer corner. I don't really want to take the darker shades all the way in, so I'm just going to use a mix of these two, just like the tiniest bit, just to add a little bit of definition there. And then I'm going to use a little bit of Barbarella Brown. I was about to say Barbarella Brown by Charlotte Tilbury, just again on the very outer corner and more so on the lash line, just to add even more smokiness there. And then you can put a little bit in your waterline as well if you want to. Oh my god, also guys, me and my mum and dad have started watching the assassination of Versace on Netflix, and oh my god, I'm obsessed. I love it so much. Like, the guy who plays Andrew, is he called Andrew? I think he's called Andrew. So good. What the hell? I'm only 5 episodes in, I think, so no spoilers please. But honestly, so far I'm shook. Like, it is so good. And then you just want to do your inner corner, so I'm just going to use a little bit of Nylon by MAC just to highlight. It's actually quite an important step when you do an all matte eye to have some sort of highlight in the inner corner, especially if you've got something as smoky as this, because it can just make the eyes look quite heavy. So I think it's quite important to have something in the inner corner that just like lightens it up. And it's also a really nice thing, I feel like, for a date night or to go out, because it really like draws people into your eyes, which is what you want, I think. Gonna contour my nose with a little bit of Hoola bronzer, of course. You guys know how much I love snatching my nose, so I'm just gonna apply a little bit down the sides. I feel like I've done this in quite a few videos now, so you probably already know like how I do this. Just gonna connect it up to the brow as well, but I like to basically start with two quite straight lines down the bridge of my nose, and then I just connect them up a little bit at the top. I don't take them too far in because I don't want it to look super unrealistic. And then I just do a little bit on the bottom of my nose as well, because honestly, like, this part makes so much difference. It makes you look like you've got more of a button nose and it's more lifted, like so. That actually looks like surgery. I'm kind of scared. Okay, let's just blend that out a little bit. And then highlighter wise, I thought I'd start out with a product I've not used on camera before. This is the Hourglass Ambient Strobe palette. So I think I'm gonna start off with this shade in the middle, which is more of a champagne colour. Oh, I've got a really itchy nose now that I've just been doing that. To be honest, because I put so much powder on, I feel like they're not going to show up like that much, but they do add like a really gorgeous glow. Then I'm going to use a little bit of Whisper of Guilt by MAC. OG, absolute OG. And I'm just going to pop that over top, just for more of like a golden glow. And I always do above my brow, even if I do have blemishes on my forehead and stuff, like I still do it, just because I think it kind of ties everything in. One thing I don't like is when you've got highlighter on your cheeks, but then it doesn't, you've got like no glow on the rest of your face. I feel like it looks really like unbalanced. Okay, I'm gonna quickly do lips. So I'm just using Cherry Lip Liner by MAC, and then the lipstick that I'm gonna use is the Maybelline Red Revolution lipstick. This is one of the Colour Sensationals, so I'm just gonna apply that now. If you're going on an actual date, you could obviously just do a nude lipstick if you think you're gonna be kissing any boys or any girls, but seeing as I'm not today and I kind of want all of the red to tie in, I'm just going to be using this instead. It's one of like my favourite drugstore red colours as well. I think it's really gorgeous on the lips. Okay, and then last but very not least, I've actually decided to pop a little bit of blush on as well. So this is the Clinique Ginger Pop. Just because we've got kind of like a red lip on the go, I want to incorporate like a little bit more of a red tone blush as well. So I'm just going to pop this on the apples of my cheeks. And honestly, I've really been enjoying using blush at the minute. I kind of go through phases where like I'm not super bothered by it, but I feel like in springtime especially, like it's nice to have a little bit of flush to the skin. And then as always, I'm going to use a little bit of All Nighter by AIRBNB, whether it's date night, whether it's going out with friends, whether it's literally just like a daytime of, I don't know, going out and having lunch. I will always use this. I love it so much. It really does kind of increase the longevity of your makeup. So I'm just going to finish off with that. And this is pretty much the finished look. Well, it's not actually the finished look. I'm going to include a clip now where you can see like the outfit and all of the hair and every single thing put together. But this is obviously the finished makeup look. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Huge thank you to Cacharel for collaborating with me on part of it. As I said, if you've not checked out the Yes I Am fragrance, make sure you do, because I guarantee you guys will love it. I'm going to get going anyway. So thank you so much for watching. I love you guys as always. And if you would like to see the finished look, then just keep watching, but also at the same time, thank you for watching. I love you and bye.
Talk to me, yeah, yeah. Just talk to me.